have to point out, we are talking about a bit of fashion, and my girl is rocking Versace glasses, bitch.
Oh, here's the thing about like
being rich.
Well, no. Here's the thing. Have you seen the Adam Ruins Everything episode about lens crafters and about eyeglasses?
What does he ruin?
Well, eyeglasses. So the thing about like brands on glasses is that like basically like the same company owns all of the designer glasses.
I have heard about
this. And they just like
lease
they lease the brand names and just slap them on the glasses.
Shut the fuck up. And then they just price gouge the shit out of Versace over Ray-Ban.
Yeah. And the thing is, I just wanted a pair of red glasses, and these are the only red ones I could find. And I was going to Hawaii the next day, so I was like,
and you're rich, honey bear, rich. KRISTIN Chirico right off the back, giving us that hot tea in the fashion industry. I didn't mean to rhyme, but here we are. Thanks so much for coming to Confidently Insecure, the podcast where we're absolutely sure we don't know everything.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. You know, this is actually my very first podcast.
No.
Yes.
It's not.
No one ever asked me to do a podcast.
You're so funny.
Oh, thank
Maybe
you.
they're fearful you're going to be funnier than them.
I need to host my own podcast where I'm the only guest.
It's just every week a monologue about you.
It's me and then me at 13.
There you go. You know, I realized when I was writing out my questions for you that I don't know your background before BuzzFeed, because you're like a BuzzFeed OG.
Yeah.
Tell the people.
I have been at BuzzFeed for too long.
Drag them. I'm my own soundboard.
Listen, the thing is that I've been there for too long. So I actually started at BuzzFeed in September of 2013.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a long time ago. This was, I want to say 4 offices ago.
Holy shit.
A long time ago. Yeah, I had a completely different job. I was a writer.
Yes.
I was hired to write lists and quizzes. And that was a job I had exclusively for, I want to say, about a year and a half.
Okay.
And then about a year and a half in, I started my slow descent into video. Yes.
Wow, wait. So you started doing video fast. I thought you were a writer for a lot longer.
I was classified as a writer jurisdictionally within BuzzFeed until I want to say mid 2017, even though that full ass wasn't my job.
For like many, many years.
Yeah, like it wasn't really,
And of course, most people probably recognize you from Ladylike, the Vi, Mega Vi, Pussy Forward, lifestyle gang. Like, I don't know. How do you guys describe Ladylike to people?
Well, I mean, I think Ladylike is basically, it's a show about female friendships.
Aww.
I know, right?
And you guys, they're really actually friends.
We are actually friends. We're actually all having dinner tonight.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, I know, people actually ask us that sometimes.
Well, because
they're just like, are you actually friends? And it's like, you kind of would have to be.
Well, I feel like reality shows and like the housewives of whatever city have kind of ruined the idea of like, can women really be friends? Like past a certain age. And I feel like this age group that we're all in at this very special, active, creative place, you feel like BuzzFeed would be one of the most competitive jobs in the world.
It is.
And to get there, it really is. But I feel like, I don't know, did we get lucky that we have such good friends? You're frowning.
No. I think so. I think that I have many thoughts on this.
Yes,
I think that BuzzFeed is actually really, really good at hiring people who might naturally become friends. And I don't think that necessarily everyone is going to be friends with everyone, but I think that they're really good at hiring good people.
Yeah, because I feel like, you, for instance, your show that you're here to talk about, the Empty Suitcase show that you can watch now on Facebook Watch.
You can watch it now. Well, actually, you can watch it, and let me tell you specifically where you can watch it. Well, okay, it is a Facebook Watch show. You can watch it on BuzzFeed Video's Facebook page and also Ladylike's Facebook page.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I watched it. I went to the Watch tab and then just scrolled until I saw.
Oh, well, apparently you can watch it there too. I didn't know that.
Well, that was one of my questions we can just skip straight to is I feel like selling any show is a rigorous process. And this was like already a proven entity, like a proven successful show that BuzzFeed was posting. But it's also going back to talking about hiring people that get along and making diverse content, hiring diverse people. This is a show about plus size fashion.
Yes.
And friendship.
Yes.
And friendship. But what was the selling process like for a show that represented such an underrepresented topic?
So let me think how much I can actually talk about this.
Fair. She's very exclusive.
Where no one yells at me. So where should I start? I guess I can start from the beginning of this. So back in go back in time.
Yeah, rewind.
Back in March of 2018. We filmed a miniseries where we went to New Orleans.
Loved that.
And originally it was supposed to be one video, and it turned into, I want to say 5.
Holy shit!
It was gonna be one video. It was Secret Trip was the name of the video, and it was where Devin plans a secret trip for us to go on. And
now is that just everybody in the comments will say, is that just y'all's way of getting a free trip?
Well,
I get those questions all the time.
People say that. Oh, sorry. People say that, but the thing is that traveling while filming is really
it's a job.
Hard.
You're not really laying by the pool.
God, it's so hard.
You do it for the Instagram and for the B-roll, and then you're out of the pool.
There are times where I'm just like, do we really have to go to the pool? I just want to.
It's so many ND filters and
oh my god, I gotta put on shoes.
Oh, anything that requires shoes, count me out.
I know. So anyway, I go back to my story. So we were filming this miniseries. We were also coming off a trip where we went to Kenya, which was amazing, incredibly hard to film.
Yeah.
And then we did this trip to New Orleans, and we were like, okay, we learned a lot from that trip to Kenya.
Yeah.
we know how to do this now.
Yeah.
And Mike Rose, who is
beautiful Mike Rose, Michael Rose.
He is so wonderful. He is a Lady Lake producer. Mm-hmm. He and I were kind of wandering the streets of New Orleans, and we were like, what if we came up with a show where we could just do this all the time? Yes. Because this is also us. This is us from the outside looking in, being like, travel shows, right? They're just vacations. And it's like, actually,
no. Anthony Bourdain sounds so miserable on his voiceover because traveling is fucking hard.
Traveling while filming
shows.
Oh my god, it's really, really hard. It's very fun. It's really hard.
And a lot of people don't know that BuzzFeed doesn't have like full crews unless you're doing a branded shoot. It's usually you're lucky if you get an intern and another producer maybe.
Yes. We traveled with a crew of 5 people, and that was like a luxury.
Oh, this is like money, money, honey.
Luxurious.
Wow, yes.
I mean, 5 including me. It was me, Mike, Kelly, who is also an editor on Lady Like, Erica Schmack, our line producer, and whoever was coming with me at the time. I'm getting up. I've been telling the same story for like 5 minutes.
This is all very important details, not niche at all.
So anyway, and then after,
there we go.
So after this New Orleans trip, I was thinking a lot about how at the time I was kind of starting to go to more events, and when you are a fat person and you're trying to go to events, it's so annoying because you have to plan what you're going to wear.
Right.
Like, 3 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance.
It's not like what can I throw on?
Or what can I borrow from my friend?
Oh, right.
Because, and so it's like, it's a pain. So like, every time I was invited to something, I was like, oh my God, I got to figure this out.
It becomes a chore more than like a fun.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking like, wow, it would really suck if I had to go somewhere and like I lost my luggage. I would be totally hosed. And then I was like, what if I made this into a show?
What's the worst possible thing I can think of? And then how do I dedicate my life to it over the next year of living that nightmare all the time?
Yeah, it's basically, I was just like, why don't I take something really stressful and then turn it into a show?
With a 5-person crew, not enough money, and my worst nightmare.
My worst nightmare. I know. People are always just like, you make it seem so easy. And I was like, yeah, that's
how much research goes into it, right?
An incredible amount of research.
I don't think we even said like the premise of the show for anyone who's not
we should
watching.
talk about this.
What are you doing?
So the Empty Suitcase Show is a show where I go to a city with just the clothes I'm wearing, and then I have to find a day look and a night look for activities in that city.
Jesus Christ. So it's not only a show about fashion and inclusivity within fashion, but it's also about the adventure of you going to a new city and kind of showcasing what they have to offer.
Yeah, it's basically a fat travel show. It's about like, because I think that like also travel for fat people is like slightly fraught.
You also use incredibly big words. I when I read your writing, I'm like, she's smart. What the fuck does fraught mean?
When I was a child, I ate a thesaurus. Nourished me.
That's how it works.
So it's it's like scary. It's frightening. Because lots of things can happen to you when you're fat and traveling. You like there are issues with seatbelts. You could have passengers who don't want to sit next to you. You know, are you going to fit into boots? Are you going to fit into chairs? Are the arms going to cut you off?
And you know, I feel like it's really interesting to just hear someone say also that I'm fat, because I've talked about this on the podcast a little bit about how society has given that a negative connotation. It's like, what do we assume with the word fat when it's like, I think women kind of took back the word cunt a little bit, and like we're also bringing back fat as just a fucking word. And how you speak about your experience is so refreshing.
Thank you. I refer to myself as a fat person because I consider fat to be a neutral descriptive word.
Amen, motherfuckers.
That is how, and the thing is like calling yourself a fat person actually makes people very nervous.
I can't tell you. I was like, how do I like not fuck this up? And then I'm like, it's Kristen. Like, she's not gonna police the shit out of me. But also, I think that, you know, I wanted to be careful with this episode because it's something that I know if I'm getting nervous about and I'm just like a loudmouth cunty, like no filter motherfucker, like how can someone who lives in middle America also have these conversations?
Yeah. I mean, so people use different words to describe themselves. Some people like curvy, some people like plus size.
Larger body.
Yeah. I don't like that. I like fat. It's a neutral descriptive word. It kind of, I think for me, it's a word that is about like, it is about reclaiming the word, but it's also, I personally, when I describe myself, and I'm not everybody, I think saying plus size is like clunky.
It does feel, because the word itself is two. It's like
I'm me, but plus.
And one more.
I know. It's like, no, I'm just fat. It's fine.
That's funny that you say that, because it's not like a pronoun where you can ask someone like they, them, like, what do you prefer? And I think, how do I say, that traditionally thin people might be nervous to use the word fat.
Yeah, they would. So I refer to them as straight size people.
Straight size?
Yes.
What did I say?
You said traditionally thin. Yeah, I mean, people say you can say thinner, you can say whatever, it's fine. But also I don't police how people identify their bodies.
Sure, but
do whatever.
Please teach us your ways.
But I mean, I refer to them as straight sized because it's kind of like the other thing about plus size is that it's like, I don't know.
I love that because I have the same feeling about it.
Because plus also like
not that I get to have a feeling about it, but
plus size also like shapes the entire conversation around clothes,
sure,
and around sizes.
And we're not talking about experience.
Yeah, we're not talking about experience. It also kind of like it a little bit like. Yeah, that's how I feel. But anyway,
totally
so, you know, and when you say the word fat with people who aren't used to calling, like they get really anxious, they get really nervous.
Sure.
I was actually at a wedding this weekend where I was referring to myself as fat because like it's just what I do, and like people were like,
you could hear like
very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes people will get angry at you.
And they'll be like, you're not fat.
They'll say that, but they interpret the word fat as so aggressive that when I hear it, they'll think I'm being aggressive with them. Like I'll say like, well, you know, like as a fat person, and they think I'm being like mean or sarcastic or aggressive.
And then you also then have to coddle someone else's feelings.
Yeah.
It's a tricky, it's a tricky conversation.
Yeah. And like the thing is, I'm also not the foremost authority on this. Like there are lots of people who do this work much better than I do. Like, you know, there's like a great activist. Exactly. There's a great activist, Your Fat Friend, who is awesome. I love her. She's great. But she is like, she is sort of a nexus of information about this.
Word. Love that for you.
Nexus.
That's great. I only know that as a phone. You're teaching me a lot today.
Yeah, she's really, really great too.
Well, speaking of when you say you're not the person, in a way, by taking on this identity in the show, do you feel ever that you have kind of become the go-to person, especially at BuzzFeed or like, do people slack you for fat questions? Like, is this okay? And are you like self-preserving at all? Like, do you have space to self-preserve?
Honestly, I know people don't ask me the questions. Like, I just kind of see what ends up happening, honestly, is sometimes I'll just, and Jasmine and I, who's also Jasmine Robbins. So, often she and I will just kind of see stuff pop up on BuzzFeed. Not often. Sometimes Jasmine and I will see stuff pop up from BuzzFeed that's maybe from like a few years ago. Yeah. And we'll be like, maybe someone should have asked us about this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you kind of do want to be the reviewer of things.
And sometimes we are, and sometimes we're not. And sometimes people just don't really think to ask, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But Jazz is there. Also, Joyce.
Yes, Tribe Called Joyce is her Insta.
She is wonderful too.
She is blowing the fuck up.
She is really great. So when I very first started, it was just me, but that it wasn't just me for very long. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well, I feel like I know some other people in other identities that are. We have Slack groups dedicated to it, or it's like, welcome the questions. But another question that I have for you is that I know we got off topic. We will come right back to Empty Suitcase Show. But
that's fine. We can talk about whatever.
I took my Adderall today, so I'm like, I did Michelle Carre's Extreme Body Makeover. And, I said something that a lot of people are retweeting or reaching out about, where I said, you're not allowed to have an unhealthy relation. It feels like you're not allowed to have a negative relationship with your body unless you're a certain size. And a lot of people latched onto that being like, oh, I never felt like I could be uncomfortable in my body without getting backlash from other people. Like you must have no problems because you're so thin, which then implies you must have so many problems if you're larger bodied or fat.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is at what point do you get to identify your body as one thing or the other?
That is a great question.
What a loaded one, though.
What a great question. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Everyone is allowed to self-identify, and everyone is allowed to have issues with their body, and everyone is allowed to feel bad about their body.
I think a lot of us.
No one can take your feelings.
Sure.
The important thing is to recognize the difference between your personal feelings about your body and how your body gives you privileges.
Ooh, say it again. Sis.
That is the critical difference.
Ooh, break it down for me.
It's basically, sometimes then people will be like, well, there's skinny shaming too. And it's just like, okay,
and
you're allowed to have feelings about your body. You're allowed to feel like your body doesn't meet a certain standard. That is correct. However, you do not encounter the same structural problems that fat people do.
It's a good comp to All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you haven't struggled. It's just what society has given you or allowed you to experience is completely different.
Yes, it is just being mindful of the fact that some people experience societal prejudice in a way that you don't. And it's everyone is allowed to feel bad about their body. The way that you voice how you feel bad about your body is important too, because sometimes people will be like, I feel fat, and fat's not a feeling. You can't feel fat. You can feel happy.
We are all guilty. We are all guilty of that saying.
You can't feel fat. That's not, you can feel frustrated.
You mean joyous and successful?
You can
look at me.
You can feel, you can feel lots of things, but fat is not a feeling. So I think that's one way in which I feel like that manifests itself a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's go back to then Empty Suitcase, which y'all, it was a journey, but we got there. So you decided to make this show that sort of head on confronts and kind of shouts at a big problem in the fashion industry.
Yeah. And so in the States, and I guess to a lesser extent in Europe, e-commerce has really filled in more gaps when it comes to more sizes. Another phrase I don't like to use is size inclusivity, because it's not really possible to have true size inclusivity.
I have questions.
Yes.
There was a thing on NPR today that they said that for women's in quotes clothing that they are going to. There are a lot of companies that are switching to what they do with men's sizes, where it's just measurements, because you can't. What is a true size 10? We don't. It's malleable, because some companies will go, oh, our customers like to feel like they're a 10, so let's make the 10 a little bit bigger.
Vanity sizing.
Is that what it's called? I knew it had a name. So when you say size inclusivity isn't possible,
it's because you are always going to leave somebody out.
Ooh.
I would say the closest brand right now to true size inclusivity is Universal Standard, because they do 00 to 40.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's
Everyone's always going to be someone.
There are some brands that are more inclusive than others, and we always want to push for greater amounts of inclusivity. But I think that when you brands that go up to a 24 love to be like, we're inclusive, and it's like okay, but you're ignoring the people who are 26.
They just want to be at the table. Right
yeah,
now.
I actually one time a brand pitched me.
I love these. I read your tweets about this all the time.
One time, oh yes, this is a thing.
KRISTIN has 0 fucks on her Twitter, by the way. Right. It's a very wonderful thing to follow. I'm in my house just like, yes!
So a brand pitched me, okay. So
I
keep a list of brands that pitch me that that don't carry my size. Because sometimes a brand will just be like, and this was, I think, a while ago. I want to say it wasn't a U.S. brand.
Okay.
It was a foreign brand.
Okay.
And they were just
assumptions in the comments.
It was a very small brand. It was not it was not tiny. But anyway, they were pitching me this line. It was called Curve, and it was size 8 to 16, and they were just for curvy sizes, and I was just like, listen. I'm very it's not that hard to figure out my size online.
Right.
I've talked about it before.
Very open.
It's pretty
it's literally in print.
It's literally in the show. I literally say it in the show. I'm a size 20. I say it in the show.
Yeah.
It also, if you look at me, you can probably take a guess.
Right. So they might not even know what you look like.
No.
They're writing into a void.
But I wrote them back, and I was just like, this isn't, you can't do this. This is not going to fly.
Did they write back?
Yeah, they were really nice about it. They were just kind of like, how so? And I was like, granted, I hate consulting for free, but it was just
ooh, sis.
it makes me crazy. But
true,
I was like, this isn't a thing. You can't appropriate the language of body positivity to sell clothes that most fat women can't wear.
Right.
You just can't do it. So.
And were they no, 16's good.
Well, yeah, they were just they were saying to me the client doesn't know, and I was like, well,
it takes not.
Please take your free consulting and run away. Yeah. But I used to keep a list of, in fact, I still kind of do. I keep a list of all the brands that have ever pitched me when they don't carry my size. Some of those brands have since started carrying my size.
Okay.
But probably the worst offender, there was a major brand that pitched me while I was in Kenya to write something about a inclusivity where they did not carry my size.
They sometimes literally just copy and fucking paste.
Oh, they do, yeah, and they don't think about it. And but the thing is I remember.
Oh yeah, the North remembers. And like I said, your Twitter is so not give a fuck. The energy is so there, and I think that this show does a nice balance too, right? Because I think the people who are afraid of people being excited about their bodies is that they're like, why are you shoving it down my throat? The same way when lesbians were more visible, they were like, why do you have to shove it down my throat? And I think your show does a really good job of just being what it is. Yeah. Fact driven. Experience.
It's supposed to be fun. Here's the thing. I think that a lot of fat women consider travel to be this very scary thing. And it's I want to make a fun travel show.
Amen.
I want to make a show where it's hey, maybe you can have fun too.
if you just throw away your suitcase.
Yeah. I mean, I'm clear. The one thing I say in every episode, so there's one episode I don't say it in because I forgot. We go to Tampa. I forget to say it in the Tampa
That's where I'm from.
Well, we go to Tampa.
Uh-oh.
I went to Tampa with Freddie.
How bad are we?
Actually, it was really, the outfits are cute. It's
okay. It's Freddie did text me and she was like, I'm in Tampa. I'm like, I cannot believe you went to my city and did not consult. My parents would have loved to have hosted all of you. There's enough room. My dad would have made you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They were so sad that they missed you guys.
Tampa was so soupy. It was, we went, in fact, actually Tampa, the episode when podcast comes out, the Tampa episode will be what airs that Saturday. Oh my God,
maybe that's what we should do our giveaway for. Wait, can I plug this real fast?
Yeah.
This isn't an ad or a commercial break, but we did a giveaway for our 2 episodes ago with John Kim where he did I Used to Be a Miserable Fuck. Thank you, Bailey. She is a neuroscientist. I might fuck this up. She's a nurse. She does something, and she listened to the podcast in her sciencey medical room. So thank you, Bailey. But for this week, for this episode, I've got this wonderful Too-Faced lip injection extreme. This is the thumbnail. Oh my god! And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you believe in this? I don't know why marketing would spend so much fucking money in creating what is this even, a dog toy?
When it was sitting here on the couch before, I kept trying to pick it up off the thing. It wasn't working.
It's giant lips, 5 lip glosses, and let's say if you send us a screenshot or a pic of you watching the Tampa episode, make sure to tag Kristen and I and Confidently Pod on Instagram. We will pick one of you guys, shout out to Tampa, put us on the map, and you will win this lip injection extreme kit. Okay.
Woo!
Ad that's not an ad is over.
Cool.
So Tampa.
Anyway, so the thing.
Soupy.
So it was Soupy. Yeah. So the thing, I say this in every episode. I did not say it in Tampa. It's sorry. I just forgot. I was tired. But but I say it in every one, which is that the fact that I can make the show at all is a privilege. I'm a size 20, which means that I have privileges above people. Or sorry, I should say it again. I'm a size 20, which means I have more privileges than people who would be larger than me in terms of clothing accessibility, in terms of lots of other things. Ability to sit in chairs, be able to fit in places, not be tossed off airplanes. Right. And, the fact that I can do this.
Not taken for granted.
Yeah, I don't take, and also the fact that if I'm above a size 24, it would be much harder, if not maybe impossible to make the show. Because of the types of clothing that's available in brick and mortar stores.
Now, would you ever consider, for a later season when it gets picked up by Facebook Watch again, would you ever consider bringing on a co-host that is a size 24, or does that
we've talked about this?
Is this we don't really want to show too much truth?
We've talked about this. There, some of the cities that we went to. It was clear once we were on the ground that it would be possible to do the show with someone a little bit bigger. Some cities, it was very clear it would not be possible at all. It was barely possible for me to do it.
And then you don't want that. You don't want that experience of something negative happening.
Well, we check. We never. So the process of making this show is We started pre-proing this show research in August, and it took me about, I want to say, a month and a half to find all the stores.
We have Google.
It took me a week to find all the America stores. It took me 5 weeks to find the 3 stores in Europe.
We didn't even say that this season you go to motherfucking Europe.
We do.
Bitch.
We go to London, Athens, and Edinburgh.
Oh, wait, that's not sure.
Oh, you me dad.
I don't even know what accent.
What is this?
We should stop.
That's a mid-Pacific accent.
I've been watching too much 90 Day Fiance. Yeah. So wait, what the fuck? You ventured into totally new territory going overseas.
Yeah, and the thing is it's hard in America. It is really hard in Europe.
The math is totally different. I mean, it's America's fault. We're the fucked up size 1. But what the fuck?
It's so bad. It was so hard because in my mind, and I'm spoiled. I'm a spoiled production baby. I'm used to, if I email a place a small business in the United States,
they will email you back.
90% of the time I'm gonna get an email back within a day.
Right.
That is not the case in Europe.
Why? Do they just not know the deal?
No, I don't think. I mean, it was just harder. It was. I think that.
Time zones.
Oh my God, time zones. I was up at 2 and 5 a.m. every single day trying to harass somebody on social media. Here's the thing. All the stores that we got were awesome. They were so cool, so easy to work with. Yeah. Really good. Finding them was hard, especially because I speak one language.
Yeah, again, America's fault.
I don't speak one language.
It's insane that every other person in the world outside of America can speak 5 languages.
Yeah, I know it's terrible. I only speak one. So
but also it's I think it's if you don't learn a new language before 8 years old, it the percentage of you remembering it drops off.
It's 90%. Hard, and we didn't have the money for a translator or a fixer, so it was
Well, so do you crowdsource a lot still? Because I remember you putting out a call on social media being like, hey, where do you guys shop?
Yes. So a lot of the stores in America came from people's suggestions. And of course, like once people suggest something, that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
After they suggest it, I have to like research it. I have to see what are people's experiences.
To their PR persons.
Well, usually, I mean, most of them don't have a PR person, but
Lord.
I know. Well, some do, but some don't. So
do you go to more? Do more times than not? Do you go to small mom and pop brands?
Yes.
Okay.
So that one thing I was thinking with this season, because there are lots of different competing things to value when you put together a show that exists in the world of capitalism.
Ooh, talk about it.
It's like, at the end of the day, this is a show about consumerism. Yeah, so it's like, you gotta find a way to balance it. So I was like, okay, at the top of this, I was like, I want to use as many small businesses as possible.
Put them on the map too.
Yeah. I want to use as many diverse businesses as possible.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, how can I do this? And so like we decided to use exclusively resale stores in the US.
Like thrift shops, consignment. What else is considered resale?
I think that's it.
Okay. That's my extent of knowledge about resale.
So we decided to use 4 out of 5 of them are plus size specific. And then one of them is actually a store, the store in Charleston. The episode's actually coming out. When you will have seen this, it will have come out the previous Saturday. But it is the store that supports a local LGBTQ plus charity in Charleston on South Carolina.
Perfect.
I was like, where am I?
What's up?
And they were awesome.
Yeah.
I was very nervous because I was like, when you go into a thrift store where it's all sizes, you're like, who knows? But
close your eyes and point.
Exactly. But I found great things there.
Yeah.
Those outfits from that episode are probably 2 of my favorites in the whole season.
Oh my God. And you obviously keep them. And you wear them around?
Sometimes.
Do you save them for the gram, Avi? Because you need something to post to market the show. This is how this works.
I know, because we take photos of it. The problem is that there's so much because
I know your photo roll must just be.
I know we were
busy.
The funny thing about the clothes for this is that the big irony of the empty suitcase show is that my suitcase is the fullest of anyone's suitcase.
Wow!
Because I have to carry all the stuff that we buy.
I was gonna say, I'm sure people always ask, you really bring nothing, but like, what do you absolutely bring?
That is a great question. I actually talk about this. So here, when we were doing I'm gonna hit your laptop. So when we were doing individual episodes, I would bring bras and underwear, and that's it. That was it. I would just bring and then nothing else.
Holy shit.
So the way that we shot them road trip style. So we did 4 at a time.
Cute.
And so I would bring basically enough bras and underwear for 16 days.
Oh my God.
And then I brought pajamas.
How do you even have 16 bras and underoos?
Well,
I guess I gotta buy more underwear.
I had to do some washing. Not really.
I just toss them.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know how many pairs of underwear I've thrown out in public?
Listen, I lost my Spanx at Radio City Music Hall in April at the YouTube.
Go on.
At Brandcast.
Wow, that's like an event, girl.
At Brandcast, I wore Spanx and I couldn't breathe, so I took them off.
Fuck it.
And I lost them.
Honestly, I think next time you're all in the bathroom, you should just open that little tampon flap and see how many pairs of underwears are in there. Because I bet you might be surprised to find a little pot of gold. Because bitches, we take like underwear is not like, I don't have like a favorite pair of underwear. I'm not close to my underwear.
Yeah.
I know that I'm going to make a mess in them and that they are disposable. And I'm not trying to promote Amazon because, environmental stuff, but they do have a good, cheap pair of underoos that I have on my one-click button.
I have 20 pairs of underwear, and so I usually bring all 20.
Wow.
And then the other thing is the first leg, I don't know what I was thinking. I brought like 8 pairs of socks for 16 days.
Oh my God.
Just not enough socks. Yeah, it was bad. And then I bring one, we call it the hero outfit for each episode. So it'll be I'll get on the plane in one outfit. I'll wear it for the whole episode. It smells terrible by the end.
You're shooting over multiple days.
Yes, we're shooting, so it smells awful. And then when we do the final thoughts for the episode, we'll switch episodes, and then I'll change into a new hero outfit to get on the plane, and then that outfit will smell terrible by the time. Back. Because each episode takes about 3.5 days to film.
Wow. I don't think people realize that either.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, so people are always just like, this isn't a realistic depiction of what it would be like to lose a suitcase. And I'm like, yeah, it's because we're filming it.
Suck my dick, internet trolls.
We're filming it.
Can't you just enjoy something?
Whenever people say that to me, and I'm just like, yeah, because it takes like the part of the process. Also, it takes
what do they want you to like go up to the airline counter and be like, you lost my bag? Just kidding. This is a TV show. Like fill out a form. Like,
but like often though, it's funny because the people who are making it with me were like, you actually can bring clothes. You don't actually have to travel in an empty suitcase. And I was like, no, I do. Wow. Like I really do. I have to feel it. Like I have to feel desperate. I do hear you
talk about Target a lot. Yeah, we do love your Target.
We do go to Target a lot. Well,
I love my Target.
So Target tends to be, for the first couple of episodes, it was like, how much can I get at the thrift store? And how much like do I have to supplement? And usually what I have to supplement is shoes. Because finding thrifted shoes is actually like kind of hard. Yeah. Because you got to find stuff that matches what you bought.
And it's few and far between. It really is.
What matches what you bought, plus it's in your size.
Forget about it.
So it's like,
and that are like in good condition.
I know. So I went to my friend Nordstrom Rack a lot.
Oh,
because I was like, I gotta find some shoes. Because the other thing is, we were in Seattle. I went to Target. I bought shoes at Target, and then I realized that like every Target in the United States is gonna have the same shoes. Oh, so I can't keep going back.
Stop to Target. It. That's me. There's a Target right down the street, and I'm like, if I go today, maybe they'll have redone the Christmas section. And I think they literally just like move shit around. Yeah, like it's the same stuff, but they just bring other things to the front, and that makes me happy enough. Target is my happy place. I write a whole chapter about it in my book. Really? You're also writing a book.
I am. Well,
TTT.
I am writing a book. I'm working on a proposal right now. Oh. The joke is that I've been working on a book proposal for, I want to say 3 years now.
Yeah, well, you are a writer.
I know. So, but
it was just in the stars. It just was like,
but it's actually for real happening.
Can you tell us anything
about my book that I'm writing that I haven't sold to anyone yet?
Well, put it out in the universe.
Listen, my parents are not going to want to read it.
Is it about my favorite subject? Sex?
Actually, no.
Oh.
They're just...
I mean, what the fuck are your parents into? Or not into, I should say.
I'm dead. So anyway, No, I think that like I wanted to write a book for a long time about like, because the question most people ask me is like, how did you get here? And like sometimes it's like an irreverent way, and sometimes it's like in a like, what are you doing here, madam? Like this.
Yeah, this is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's. So I kind of wanted to write a book of like, how did I get here? And it's like, here's all the things that happened.
And is the through line about you being like a woman, or?
I think the through line is kind of like me, like it's. People like me could not become F-list celebrities even 10 years ago. And now we live in a world where people like me can go on podcasts.
Yeah. Hey, her first one.
People listen to. Yeah, and it's a weird shift. And it's also like a weird phenomenon because it's like, you know, I feel like I'm famous enough where people recognize me on the street, but I'm not so famous where I don't have student loans.
Absolutely. And I think that like we talk about this all the time with guests about like how people think we're all like
rich.
Jake Paul, like we all have like, bitch, no, I struggle. I still struggle. You drive a
I drive a 2007 Chevy Fuck.
A fuck? A Chevy Fuck?
No. I'm joking. I drive it's a Cobalt.
Oh, okay, cool.
I know. I drive a car that was made during the Bush administration.
Ooh, we gotta get rid of that.
I know. Actually, my car isn't working right now. I actually took a lift.
Well, we're gonna send that book proposal out. What would be like your dream publisher? Do you think? Because you're in that space.
I don't know. I don't want to say.
Okay, okay. We don't want to exclude. I have a question though. You brought something up very interesting about people like you. You mean fat. Not being able to be in a space like this 10 years ago, and now it is changing. Do we have social media to thank? Do we have the body positivity movement to thank? How do you feel about it? Are we just making it more visible? Are people just finally becoming less fat phobic? What's changing? What do you feel positive about the change, and what do you feel not so happy about?
That's a really good question. I think
I'm asking a lot of heavy-handed.
I think that there is I think a lot of people are cynical, but in a good way. In that I think that we have become very tired of artifice. And
There she goes with her words.
I think because of that, because we are tired of artifice, we want people who we feel like we would know. And so we don't when we see people who look perfect, it's like, I don't know.
I can't relate.
What is this?
They look a little alien.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I don't when we see people who are rich and like everything's figured out, it's like, I'm like,
I don't want to hang out with that person. They're probably fucking miserable.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I'm sure they are, but
rich.
But I think that our tastes have shifted. And so we want to feel like we can trust the people that we like.
Who are selling us things, who are shaping our entertainment.
We want to feel like they get us and they know us.
And they are us.
Yeah.
Right?
And so in order for them to get us and be like us and to be us, they have to kind of look like us.
Right. And I feel like, I don't know how I feel when I see like a company stick a fat person in their ad, because I'm like, you're just doing that just because. Do you really believe that? Like, what's the company like environment like? How's the workplace like? I don't know.
I'm actually okay with that. I actually prefer if more visibly fat people were in ads. I think sometimes they'll take someone who's like a 14 or a 12
and be like,
who has great proportions, and they'll be like,
Our big girl. See?
Look what we did.
Here she is.
For you.
We did it.
I realize I haven't been looking at this camera this whole time.
Oh,
hi.
Hi, same. I always like to.
I'm always like looking off at the 1,000-yard stare. I think that I would like more representation. I would also like if that representation was better. Something I talk about, I think in the London episode, is that maybe I don't. That might not make it in the cut.
You've been traveling, girl.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
But we don't see people with double chins a lot. In fact, we almost never. We see people who are like boop a doop a doop a doop a doop. Who have like beautiful faces and like the boop a doop a doop.
They're still models.
Yeah,
no
it's
matter
like,
the size.
That's the thing about Ashley Graham. And people like to bring her up to me, and I'm just like, we're not the same person.
Don't you also feel like people bring up fat people to other fat people like you all know each other?
Well, the funny thing is that a lot of us do.
If I was like, Nicole Byer, right? Your best friend her book, right? Like, I feel like that's there
definitely is like 6 degrees of separation between like every fat person. Like
everyone's in everybody's DMs though, because it's made it. Social media has made it easier to be like, hey girl.
Yeah, I don't know Nicole Byer, but like I probably know someone who knows Nicole Byer really well.
I mean, Jasmine.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go, Jasmine.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. And so it's like, there are other fat people. Like I know Tess.
Yeah.
Like
Holiday,
I know Julie.
Yeah.
Like I know who else do I know? I know probably more people.
You know bitches.
I know people. Yeah.
Would you ever bring any of them on to the show?
This question has actually been asked to me before. When we were making this show, here's the logistical problem when you're making a show like this. You're making 8 episodes. You need to secure 4 things per episode.
Yeah.
You need a store, you need a hotel, you need a day activity, you need a night activity.
Sure.
That's 32 location agreements.
Holy fuck.
And you got to get them in 2 months.
Yikes.
You add 8 people. You add 8 people to it. That's 40 agreements you've got to get.
There's more contracts.
I know. And so it's like, or I could use the people who I don't have to get paperwork from.
Well, that's the other thing is like, we're not even thinking really about what budget includes, like what we're allotted. I say we're like as if I still work there. I don't. I know. It'll always be a piece of me. And I think like I hope to see it get renewed and get to even bigger platforms and more visibility, obviously. And I think what you have coming up, expanding into the market, is really fun and exciting. So as we wind down, because can you believe we've already been going for 45 minutes?
We've been going for 45 minutes.
You have to come back.
This is crazy.
I literally didn't even look at my computer with my question.
It just says Kelsey MacBook Pro on it.
I didn't even get to open it and like ask my actual questions to you because we just started fucking talking. So will you please in the new year come back?
I will absolutely come back.
Okay, so tell us then. Let's end on a high note.
Okay.
I want you to tell us what the most exciting thing we have looking forward to. What episode should we be like absolutely on the lookout for? Favorite part, travel, what's the climax?
Oh my God, it's really hard.
You obviously watch all the episodes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
London was great.
London is my favorite.
London was really great. I think the Charleston and Tampa episodes with Freddie are very good. They're very, very good. The thing is like I actually haven't seen, so I've only seen rough cuts up until the DC.
Wow, you guys are still cutting?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're doing it. It's fly by the seat of our
pants. They're coming out though.
I know.
Holy shit.
We're only like as we're recording this, we just sent the Tampa episode to final, so it's done.
Shit.
The DC episode, which comes out after that, is like it's getting there, but it's not quite there.
Shaping the bones.
I haven't even seen a cut of London yet, and that comes out the first.
But you already know it's super fun.
I know it's super fun. I've been told it's super fun. I've also been told that Greece is super fun.
Greece.
We went to London, Athens, and Edinburgh.
I've never been to Edinburgh.
It's beautiful.
Where is that?
Scotland.
Okay, no, Scotland. I'm doing a mini tour next year, and we're stopping in London.
Really?
June 20-something.
Oh, I love that date.
So make sure to watch out for that, Londoners. But so okay, London, we got a hot ticket in the London episode.
The Tampa episode you're gonna see this Saturday is very funny.
And let me tell you, Tampa, the dirty South. Tampa is in a state of its own.
Tampa is like one of those cities. Everything we did in Tampa was fun.
Can you tell me what you did?
Yes. So we went to.
Can I guess? Was it Ybor?
No, we went to our day activities. We went to Caddy's Beach Bar.
Oh my God! The amount of fucked up shit I have seen and done at Caddy's Beach Bar. We don't even call it Beach Bar. We just call it Caddy's.
We call it Caddy's. So we went to Caddy's. Yeah, Freddie and I went to Caddy's.
Oh, did you drink pina coladas?
We did. We drank. We took them into the ocean. Because Caddy's, the reason why is because Caddy's is the only beach bar we could find where you can actually drink on the beach.
Oh, and you can walk into the water, which is like bathtub water.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's not even refreshing.
It's gorgeous.
It's like, oh, this is warm.
No, it was beautiful. We were like, that's actually why I went to Tampa, is I wanted to go to a beach that was nice and not like.
St. Petersburg has the best beaches in the world. Although you were technically in Clearwater.
We were in Treasure Island.
Oh, okay.
And then we went to Il Ritorno, which is a restaurant in St. Petersburg. We did. So this episode is technically the Tampa Bay area episode because we went to a store in Tampa Bay and we stayed in Tampa Bay, but our activities were both in St. Petersburg.
That's why when people call it the Bay Area, I'm like, oh my God, you're from Tampa? And they're like, no, San Francisco. And I'm like, what? Because we call it the Bay Area, like it's the Bay Area, the South, whatever. That's not here. I'm so glad you put Tampa on the map.
Yeah,
in all of the years I worked at BuzzFeed, I only got to make one video in Tampa. Well, no, that's not true. Two. One was about strip clubs, best in the country.
I know, it was so silly.
And one was about buying a house.
Tampa was hot. It was like definitely.
I'm gonna be there on Tuesday.
We stayed inside the whole time.
I don't blame you. When you step outside, you get wet.
Yeah, it was gross.
You're moist.
I almost stepped on a lizard like every single time.
Dude, we have no lizards in LA. It's so weird.
It's really gross. It was just like lizards and wetness.
Yum. And that's what little girls are made of. Kristen, where do you want to be found? How can people watch your show?
Okay.
Please, at least if you get anything from this, follow her on Twitter because you always pop up because I think I just like and favor things so much that my Twitter's like, oh, you want to just see her
all the time.
Yeah.
I am Lola Coaster on Twitter, which is lol coaster.
Got it.
It's like a pun.
Oh, you just said it to my face and I still didn't get it.
It's like instead of a roller coaster, it's a Lola coaster. Yeah. So what happened?
Thank you for clarifying.
That was the thing is, it's been my Twitter handle for like.
Well, girl,
12 years.
You were at BuzzFeed at 2013, so you were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it's like a long time. And then on Instagram, it's KRISTIN CHIRICO.
Yeah. And MTSUK Show.
So the MTSUK Show is on BuzzFeed Videos Facebook page, also Ladylike's Facebook page.
And if you click the watch tab, it's there.
It's apparently on the watch tab too. I learned something today.
See, you taught me a lot, and I taught you one thing. Thank you so much, KRISTIN CHIRICO. Please promise me you'll come back.
I will definitely come back. It's very fun.
It's good. It's on audio, so you're contractually obliged.
I love this.
Bye, Confidants. See you next week.
Bye.